Hope everybody at home is fine. I don't know what stage of lockdown we're in, what we're supposed to do, what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do, what days it isn't, what is time, what is the continuum like? No idea. The other day, this is a true story. It's barely a story, it's a true anecdote. I didn't know it was a public holiday the other day. I had no idea until on the Monday night, people were saying, "Oh, I can't help you tomorrow. I'm going hiking." I was like, "What the hiking? What?" I do, my darling. All right, where's this man? Waar is jy? Should I talk to him in Afrikaans? Not that I can speak Afrikaans. Hey, Kwesta, who is jy? Well, that's not even the wrong Afrikaans. Wie is jy? No, that's wrong. Who come is yay? How about that? That is actually the extent of my Afrikaans, embarrassingly. If you don't believe me, check out my movie Stone Cold. I'm not here promoting it. There's only 4 people watching, so who the fuck am I going to promote it to? Kwesta will be joining us at 9 o'clock. It's 9:01. Dude. Cheers. I hope you have a whiskey. Listen, what you should do is whiskeybrother.com. They've got their own online delivery, and they deliver quick. Order yourself a whiskey, and when you see this show, come and have a dop with us. Why not? Why not? Here comes Kwesta. Yes! I'm excited. Hold on. There he is!
I'm out here. I'm here.
Kwesta!
I'm here.
Senzo.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my bro.
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Lovely to see you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, man. Lovely to be here.
I'm so excited that you agreed to do this show.
I'm so excited you invited me. You know, I was definitely going to agree. The invite caught me by surprise, but a pleasant one. You know.
Cool, man. How's
Yeah,
your
good to be.
lockdown treating you?
It has its moments, you know. It's I don't know how censored we are here, but
We're not at all. I mean, if there
it,
is one show that doesn't give a shit, you're on it.
there we go. There we go. As long as you lead it, I'll follow. So some days it's like, oh, I'm glad for the peace and the quiet and it's dope. And some other days are like, fuck, I want to see someone, anybody, you know. But it's been productive, however, musically, you know. So I record a lot of things. Some of the things I probably would have scratched off and said it's not worth recording if times were okay. But now it's like the lockdown is like I'm recording everything that enters my head and I'm just putting it down. And sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. But I'm experimenting more, which is great for the artist, you know.
It's also going on forever. I don't know if I mean, for some people that's working really for them. Some people it's really like it's cool for a lot of time, and then I'm just like, this has to. I
The
can't do
fuck,
the carry
yeah.
on.
Yeah, that's true. That's literally what I've been going through the past week. You know, I really want it over, and what's messed up the most is that there's no word from anybody. Like nobody kind of has an idea of normality again, or a sense of a timeline for normality. And so we all just winging it. You know, people that are in leadership also, they're like, hey man, we don't know. One week is like we have a plan, the other week is like, fuck it, you'll see yourselves, you know. So
And
it's
that's
really
the
just
thing.
looking.
Those
Yeah,
guys making decisions, they know they have the same amount of information that we have, which is fuck all.
yeah, pretty much. And they gotta
Yeah.
sit there and act like they know, right? Just because they
Yeah.
gotta address a bunch of people and they start the conversation as if this is solution based. And by
Yeah.
the end of the conversation, by the end of whatever they say, it's like, that's it. Literally, I knew everything you said. I already knew. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
it's
think
really just
they
so.
need to look like they know. They have to look like they're in control. That's the problem.
Yeah,
But
but truth
but you
is,
know,
yeah,
I was chatting to a dude, like an Australian guy the other day, and he said, like,
yeah,
what is South Africa like during lockdown? And I was stumped. I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea what anything is like, what anyone
yeah,
feels.
yeah.
And one
Because
of the most weird thing is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm starting to figure out that people aren't having conversations uh, in the same room. So they're kind of having conversations on social media. So no one
yeah,
is really saying what they really think. So you have no idea how anyone feels about anything.
yeah. I mean, it's what I've been seeing a lot of in the social media spaces is that somebody will say something and then you want to say something similar just because a bunch of people are saying that, so
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. There's no real honest independent thinking. It's like, I think that it's like, oh yeah, what's the hashtag, let's follow that, and just keep tweeting about that. So it's really been, and everybody acts and looks smart, and wants to have some sort of solution, but it's
Mm.
all a cut and paste of what we all know. So it's been pretty bad for the independent thinker, because there's no room to really say anything, because as you wake
No.
up, there's some bullshit conversation dressed up as factual and solution based stuff, but really it's just gibberish, for trends and shit.
And
So
unfortunately, that's all the conversations that's go. You only have access to that now, so you actually don't know what people really think.
that is
That's the
all
thing.
you.
It's like fucking my head up.
Yeah, that's true. And you can't really have conversations in the space that you would normally, honest conversations with people that you'd be able to go back and forth with and have a conversation, because you can't get out because of the
Mm.
limited spaces and the distancing and all that shit. So all you have is literally that bullshit that's on social media. That's
Instagram.
all we have. That's it, bro. That's it. And everything else is just misinformation or obscured facts, or just morons on TV acting like experts and
It's
shit.
fucked up,
But
bro.
it's really been messed up. It's really, there's nothing to focus to except whatever's going on in your own head. But you can't
Uh,
share that because
oh no, you
where.
can't. You can't be honest. No.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you? How are you doing with the? I mean, everyone's got a different feel on how the live streaming performance things. Are you into it, or is it a necessity, or you don't really care, or like
I mean,
doing an actual performance online?
it's mainly I care about it solely because I miss the shit sometimes,
Mm.
well, not sometimes, just all the time, pretty much just performing and stuff like that and getting the guys together. But you can't really get the guys together because, you can't get the guys together. but
Mm. Mm.
but half the time I try and treat it like a gig, like a TV channel will call or whatever and say, yo, we got this thing going on. Would you not want to sort of just come through and connect with your fans again and whatever? And I say, yeah, but I gotta treat it like a gig. So what I'm gonna do is send you an invoice, and we gotta treat it like that, so that,
Right.
because
That's interesting.
yeah, because I'm like, for a fact that at this moment I don't have an income, right? That would be in the form of gigs, at least, so I cannot therefore go out there and ask maybe my drummer or my guitarist, yo, come, let's go play, it's for fun, because they then don't have an income either. So I feel like
That's
that's how
interesting
I've been
because
treated.
I never thought about that. Like, because usually when you do those, you're actually pushing people to a gig, so it works
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
interest. But now
yeah.
there isn't anything
But
at the
now
end of the
that
tail.
is gig, yeah. So now that
Right.
I'm like, that is the gig, and that's what I need to do. But obviously, some of it is also just me missing it, and me really actually wanting to connect with people and perform some of the latest stuff, or stuff that they haven't seen in a while. It's because it's fun. But at the end
Mm.
of the day, the fun also comes with the realities that come around. So if I set up something by myself, and that would then solely be to connect. If I set up a streaming show or anything, that's purely for connecting with people. But if somebody's going to call me to perform in the interest of viewerships and things like that and streaming numbers, then I
Dollars.
have to treat that like a gig, because
Mm.
that is my gig. There's nothing at the tail end of anything. So I've been doing that a lot, and it hasn't made me a lot of new friends. But
Well,
it
I
is
call
what it
that.
is.
I think you're like I'm very. I don't know if you know. I'm doing this thing called busker. So I'm
Yeah, yeah,
constantly thinking about the state of the industry and how it's changing. I think what you're doing is pioneering because you have accepted that things are different, and you're actually
yeah.
creating infrastructure for the way things are going to be, rather than sort of waiting for
Yeah, for so
the
so to call, or for
which
a
is cool.
festival to happen. Yeah, I mean, I think adapting and kind of forging ways to be as normal as possible, or at least decent enough to just live,
Mm.
and survive. You gotta sort of unlearn some things, and put into practice stuff that you probably normally wouldn't, but you deem necessary for this time, and
See, I
and
don't
those are
know.
some of the things that.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's I agree with what you're saying, but I think you're not doing what I don't think what you're doing is something that you're deeming necessary. I think you're actually setting things in place that will become normal going forward because like that you're actually putting things in place that aren't just because you need to, but they're actually what needs to happen for the industry to
From
adapt
here on
into the
out.
new
Yes,
space.
that's.
Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with like my father-in-law just today, just about it wasn't specifically about the industry, it was just about life and having to sort of convince him and talk him into accepting that this is not a passing thing,
Yeah.
at least as far as behavior is concerned, as far as industries are concerned,
Mm.
those things will be probably irreparable and they'd have to adapt to new ways of doing things. I mean, even the virus is a passing thing. I think eventually there'll be a vaccine of sorts and that'll be gone. But the ways we've been living and the new things we've adapted to would have to continue fully. I mean, it's not like when the virus is over, EdCon is going to come back and say, "Oh, yo, those 22,000 jobs, they back on." Those
Mm.
jobs are gone for good. So
Yeah.
there need to be new ways to kind of adapt to. So it's a new normal. So I get what you're saying. It's not really something I deem necessary, but it's just a new way that should move forward. It's because we don't have like an end date for this where you go, oh yeah, by August it'll be gone, so everything will be back to normal. I think that's the biggest mistake we make, and that causes a lot of anxiety and being unsure. And I think the decisions have to be made now, because as soon as you realize that this is the new normal, it might be too late. Well, the sooner you realize it, the better.
Well,
And if it isn't, and if things happen to go back to normal, well, it didn't hurt you to sort of adapt to this new normal. You still were able to live, and if it goes back to everything it was, which I doubt. I think it would be foolish for any one of us to think it'll go back to normal. But if it does, it, it,
yeah.
it wouldn't have hurt you in either way. It's so yes, this is the new normal, and we have to adapt, and that's what I've been trying to do pretty much. Actually, well,
Look,
I know this is your show and this is but how have you what are you sort of how
this
how
has
how do
been
you see this whole thing, and especially with affecting the industry? I mean, I think those points are obvious, but moving forward, would you
um
deem this the new normal, or
yeah,
don't
I
feel
I
past?
found it other than like the stuff that is difficult and stressful. Personally, you putting me on the spot here. This is something I think about. I've not expressed in any shape or form, but
Mm,
from a business perspective, from me personally, because I can only talk from my perspective. This has been an amazing time for innovation because um, I've always felt like off the I'm just outside of the industry. Everything I've done, all
yeah,
my stuff, I've always
yeah,
been an
yeah.
outside on everything. And I mean, okay, I have been drinking for an hour, so I'm just, yeah, I fought with the industry a lot,
Speaking
with
of,
the actual
yeah,
industry.
yeah,
And I've gone to war with fucking people who still don't speak to me, and I've been
mm,
betrayed a lot in the industry,
mm,
I feel.
mm,
So I've always felt like an outsider, and I actually feel that this has been a leveling playing field. Now no one's the big dog. There's no big
yeah,
dogs.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If you want to be smart, if you want to try new things, if you want to change the industry, now is the time to do it. And I've been having lots of fun. Like Busker, it was a rocket ship for me.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
I mean, we had like nearly 1,000 buskers like this, and we launching in the US. And on top of that, the work that I'm doing, I've always
Amazing,
been like,
amazing.
let's do crazy stuff in the digital space. And everyone's been like, yeah, yeah, we're busy. Now everyone's like, what is the crazy
It's
stuff we must do in the
yeah,
digital
yeah,
space?
yeah, yeah. What do you do
so
now?
so
Yeah.
I'm having a ball from a work perspective. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's dope.
Uh,
That's interesting. Not a lot of people would say that. Based on like, there's more people that would say, "Yo, what do we do now?" More than people that go, "Oh yeah, this is exactly where I was going with it." Kind of thing. Now you need this crazy, or this thing that you called crazy is now
yeah.
a norm. And this thing I've been doing, and it's been anti-industry, and now it most
Now it is
definitely
the thing.
is the industry.
Well,
So
the
that's
weird
dope.
thing about Busker, and I'm not selling Busker, is just that I had the idea years ago, but I
Yeah.
knew that the industry would never accept it.
Mm,
It
mm,
just punch, and I've had lots of there's lots of things that the industry should, in my opinion, embrace but won't. And soon as the
Mm.
COVID thing hit, I thought if there was ever a time there's going to be a massive cultural shift in the industry that might accept an idea like this, it'll be now.
Maybe now, yeah.
And it really was. Suddenly everyone was like, "Oh, let's actually talk about this thing that a week ago we would never entertain. We would never get
Mm,
into the room
mm,
with."
mm, mm.
It's
Yeah, that's
been
crazy. That's unbelievable, man. And it's also given room for people to sort of, well, it's forced people to kind of be a lot more open-minded and a lot more, sort of just open to things, not unlearning actually, to
mm.
just stop being the big dogs or the big boys that would generally say
Well,
no to an
nobody knows
idea.
shit anymore, right?
That's the thing.
Nobody knows what's going to happen or what the industry is or where it's
Mm,
going or what's going to work. So whoever is playing in that space and pushing the boundaries in that space is going to come out the other side going like with a new industry or a new
yeah. Yeah.
industry leader, I think.
And that's true. That's true. So I don't know. Shout out. It's just interesting to hear all these sort of effects and in different industries, especially our own. It's interesting to hear how the survival things have been, or what the survival things have been, and more than that, the sort of foresight of innovation and things like that. It's always just interested me, because I myself also kind of I've been risky. I mean, I've sort of belonged to a very safe sort of industry for a while, but I've done some left things, or some things that people would call this is not what you do. It's not how it's done, or whatever the case is. And generally I've won at some, and obviously lost at some. At some points, yeah, they were right. Okay, don't do that. But I'm fortunate of having tried weird things, because now we're thrown in real life and in real time into a weird situation, and I've sort of taught myself to be able to adapt to things, or to be able to test myself. So now this is, as much as this has been a test, it's not a detrimental thing that I don't think the person or the mindset I've been in won't be able to maneuver around.
It's
It's just something
interesting to
I've
hear you
taught myself.
say those things because from the outside, look, I mean, I've known you a long time, but not really
Mm.
spend any time with
Yeah,
you, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, but from the complete outside, I've always felt like that you are on your own. You've always, it seems like you've always zigged when everyone else was that you're doing your own thing, you're on your own path. Your personality is so chill, and your career is like, I'm going to do what I want to do in the timing that I want to do, how I want to do it. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. So it's interesting to hear from you to say
yeah.
that you feel that you're part of a safe industry. What does that mean?
Like I mean, like a good. Sometimes I'd sell, or I'd have 100% of an idea that would go left in
Give me
comparison
an
to industry
example.
norm.
Give me an
and,
example so I
and
can.
it's silly things like like even doing shows for three. I have this 3-day birthday experience that I do in sort of in Katle
Mm,
home, right?
yeah.
Which is like a hood and things like that.
Mm.
And in that I have things like camping and there's and in my head, and people just tell me, people in the hood don't do camping,
They're not gonna do
or
that. Yeah.
and there's a karaoke thing going on in the same space. So it's like a carnival, like with there's a gaming station. There's shit
Mm.
like that, and the concept is not generally new to everyone that's done it, but it's for the hood and in that space. And people kept telling me, nah, P, don't do that. People won't support that. And I did that because I'm like, fuck it, we'll see. I think people would appreciate it, and the first one we did turned over about 10,000 people, so I was like,
Fuck.
yo, bro, it's working. Look at this, you know what I mean? So those things. But now, and then maybe my lineup
That's
was switched.
crazy. I
So
want
I
to see people
accepted.
camping in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's I'm like, I want to go to Katlong and see people camping and book a tent
Yeah.
and just be there, and it's a safe place, and it's a safe space that we created, at least, and we did that successfully. And why I'm saying I sort of belonged to a safe thing as soon as we did it. Now the sponsors wanted to jump on, right, and really wanted to be a part of it, because they couldn't sort of keep away from what the numbers were, and in doing that, um with some, I mean, I had partners in that, and some people were like, I think we should take brand so and so's money, even though they might want to just maybe say stop camping, so that sort of say it's
Mm.
dope, it's working, but come on, make it a little, safer for us to be able to be a part of it, you know what I mean? And sometimes I've accepted things like that. Sorry, someone doesn't have time. Sometimes I've accepted things like that to a certain extent, and I hate myself for it. Sometimes I go, you had a 100% idea, but now only 70% of it is being kept because it's not safe enough to just do that.
Mm.
So those little 30%, 40% conforming standards have, like, sometimes really haunt me at night, and I go, it irks the shit out of me. So
You just
as
got
much as
to, when you
you're right.
said this, when you have an
Yeah,
idea, you just got to set up what are the ideas that are for you and what are the ideas you want to commercialize
this is the
and
truth.
take
This is
from
what
there. Yeah.
this is what I kind of had to learn, because
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, well, musically and sound wise, I don't give a fuck what's out there, to tell you the truth. I listen to it, I love it, I enjoy it when I do, but there's nothing that I listen to and go, if I could sound like that, so I've never followed the that in that sort of thing. I kind of just, it feels this whenever there's production going on, I kind of feel like, it feels like I should do this on this, and I'm gonna do that. I don't particularly go, this is what works and this is what the sound is. 'Cause I
That's
even
not true.
struggle.
You obviously
And
listen to a lot of what's it called? AMR, AMHR. What's that stuff called? You know the
who's
you
that?
know the the people who whisper. They whisper into the mic and then they get all the girls off and stuff.
Oh
You know what I'm
shit.
talking about? AMRH, I think it's
Yeah,
AMHR.
yeah.
Audio.
Not even, oh
That's
no,
what
not even, bro. I'm just like, I know them, I hear them, but
I do, my darling.
I
Tu
hear
a
what you're
tu
saying.
bambini.
That's what I'm saying. If it feels like I should do that, I'm doing it. It's what it is. It may be
Audio
weird.
porn.
Sometimes it gets hard to perform and shit because people just go. Sometimes people go wild and they hear with their energy, and you got to come on and go, I do. And you got to make sure they
ASMR. That's what it's called.
ASMR,
That's
ASMR,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, But I mean, I do listen to music. I like music, but I try not to let it come into my sort of process of creation. I was like, I try to block out a lot of things and go, yo, what do you want to do on this? And half the time, I won't lie to you, tell you the truth. Half the time I play anything that is fresh out the studio. The first person I played for will probably go, play it again. Let me, and kind of has to sort of get around it more than just go. It's an instant hit,
Mm,
because it's kind of half the shit. Well, I try.
mm.
Well, not consciously try make stuff that radio won't play. I want them to play the shit, but I don't want it to feel like, oh yeah, you just made this song
Oh,
that you play. I just kind of heard it on radio and it
oh.
would fit right in. I don't want to do it with that sort of format. I want to go, yo, man, if they played, they played. If they don't, they don't. But I did it in a way that I fuck with, a way that I like, and I can only hope they play it and support it. So you're kind of right in the fact that I've sort of just did my own thing, don't give a fuck or whatever, but I do care. I mean, I care what impact the songs have. I just don't want to sort of photocopy or copy and paste something I hear and then go, oh yeah, that's mine, because then it wouldn't be. you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's
The
I've just always been that sort of person. I like what I think, so I like following that, and that comes with having to be a little bit stubborn, and I think I'm naturally that. So yeah.
How much time do you spend in like this is always a mystery to me. When you're crafting a single song, is it quick or is it long for you? For
It depends. I'll tell you, like, a song like Good I did in 30 minutes flat.
right.
It was literally just you know, it just happened. It just fucking happened. It's hard to even explain that shit. That's why I mean, like, yo, man, somebody walked in the studio and decided to make the song. You know, it really wasn't me. You know, something, some energy of sorts just came in and took over. You know, and then there's songs that you take, I take weeks and trying to perfect and things like. I mean, the idea could be recorded, but for that to manifest into a song sometimes has taken me weeks, you know. Just the chopping and changing and saying, no, maybe not like that, maybe like that, you know. But that's then when I try and do that to my satisfaction, you know. But then what fucks with me a lot of the time is that it keeps changing, you know. My level of okay, this would be where I'm satisfied keeps changing. Every time I hear it again, I'm like, nah, man, change that again, change that back into that, don't, you know. So some songs have
Well,
taken forever.
and then one of the curses I've found is falling in love with the demo. When you hear it and you know it's shit, but you listen to it many times and you eventually up liking it and going like, nothing sounds
And
like the
then you
shitty
go,
demo that I know is
yeah,
crap.
you go and master and do all the and rearrange, and it just doesn't get you there, right? It's been like that many times. There's songs that I've sort of put on an album or just put out completely as singles that never quite reached that demo level of satisfaction that I felt when I was listening. But I'm like, maybe they'll appreciate it. But I'm like, I like the demo better, and you can't really ever get that right from even sometimes tonality to sometimes it just never happens, and you're like,
But
ah,
when
fuck
that
it,
demo is first cut, you know in that moment that it is not good.
that this
But
is
then you
yeah.
listen to it too many times.
And it starts becoming it's like yeah, I hear exactly what you say. I hear exactly what you say. You know, that has happened to me many a times. You know, it's always been weird because all the other steps you take are to make it sound better, you know, or make it, you know, or enhance the song, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it never really hits that shitty demo that you knew was shit, you know. After playing that 50 times, that
You,
51st time, that feeling of that 51st time, you really never get back. You're like, where's the bullshit I've been hearing? I need that shit with that bullshit.
uh,
Yeah, and you never really get it. You clean it up too nicely, you know, you make it too good for what it
mm,
for that feeling that it gave you.
that's when
And
hell. Demo
it's
hell.
just it's crazy how that shit works. Crazy.
Listen, this show hasn't fulfilled the other part of the mandate yet. This is still the warm up. We've got to
Yeah,
bring out the whiskey. Have you got yours with you?
we gotta bring out the big boys.
Okay, I'll tell you
Yeah,
the story of the whiskey that you're holding, right?
yeah.
So, do you know this shop in Hyde Park called Whiskey Brothers in Santon? They're like whiskey enthusiasts. Do you know them?
Yeah. No, I
So
don't.
like it's
I
like a
need to
candy
visit them
store.
one time.
Yeah, it's a candy store of whiskeys. And the thing about the dudes there, they like love their whiskeys. They'll tell you stories. You do tasting sessions. And I told
Yeah,
them I
yeah.
was doing the show with you, and they said, okay, if you wanna, and I don't know if you remember this. You did a show on the I
On
and
sorry.
on the I radio on my radio
Oh
station
yes,
about a
yes,
year or
yes,
two ago. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I remember
And
that.
we did quite a lot of drinking during that show as well.
Yep.
And
We're
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm saying we're running the second part now. We're pretty much
So there's part
continuing
two.
where we yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
said this will impress the shit out of you. There are only
This,
636
when I read that,
bottles. Yeah.
let me tell you, I don't want to lie here and feel like, yo, I know everything about it. I didn't know the whiskey, right? And I'm like, oh, but it looks, the packaging is dope, you know. And then before I put it away, I kind of read through it and read the history and everything. And I'm like, wait, what? You know, it kind of was really impressive just from that, you know. And now it's just left to the taste. But for what it is and what the packaging says it is, it's really impressive from what I was looking at. It's like, it's crazy. I was even telling my woman, I'm like, yo, got a bottle, and she didn't care. She's actually the first one to kind of read it. She was just trying to pack it away until I need it, you know. And she read it, and I, do you know what we got here? And when I read your message, I'm like, oh, wait, it's real. I thought, you know. So it's crazy impressive. It's crazy
It
impressive
ain't
from
it
where
ain't
I
no
stand.
first watch, baby.
I won't. I thought that's where we might go with it because I'm like, not to say the thing is cheap, but I'm like, I mean, he's Kwesta. I could give him cheap stuff, and he's nice enough to act like it ain't. You know, he'll accept it. So let's send it. But you guys really went in. But the guys really went in.
No,
This
we wanted to. So they said to me, if they're going to really impress someone, this is the one.
this is
It's
the
one.
thing to do it with. Yeah.
What number is your bottle? I've got 148 of 636.
Mine is 195. I got
195.
195 of 636. Yeah. This is
I've got.
I almost don't want to drink it.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
This is what they told me. It's non. I don't know what any of this shit means, so I'm gonna pretend I do. Non-chill filtered, naturally colored, bottled at cask strength of 56.4. Not available anywhere else in the world. A unique combination of peat and sherry cask. So that means something to someone. What I just said.
All I heard was not available anywhere else in the world. That makes that shit exclusive as shit. You know, yeah, I also don't know what it means, but it sounds impressive.
Should we taste it? Because I've never had this either.
Let's taste this, bro. Let's taste it.
Let's go.
Let's open it up.
Ben Riach. Here we go. So let's have a look at the.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. I've been saying Ben
Don't
Riach.
ask me.
I've been saying Ben Riach.
That's what my bottle. That's what it looks like.
That's what mine looks
the
like.
bottle's number 2. Beautiful, man.
This is crazy.
I put mine in the freezer.
Mine wasn't in the freezer. I don't know where my wife put it.
But it's got tasting notes. It says baked apple and bitter orange with dark chocolate and old leather. And the color is called stained oak. Okay. This can be fun. Okay, so first of all, you know it's quality because look, it's a proper cork.
The lid, yeah. This is it's not some screw-on type of first watch shit.
This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Okay. Okay. That looks good.
It looks very good.
Senzo, cheers. Lovely to
cheers
see you,
to you, bro. Lovely to see you. You know what it is. Glad to be here.
Cool. Wow. Okay. Now
I can taste the wood too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's good. It's some really
good.
potent stuff. It's really potent. It's really gets you there, doesn't it? It's like very strong.
Warm and it's not. Yeah, I drink a lot.
Yeah, it's
of
like
bourbon,
bold
so
and very. Yeah.
Well, now I feel really posh.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got for us, brother? Let's check it out. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, cheers. So.
Cheers to you.
You Let's talk a little bit about the old days because I remember seeing you a lot more back then before you became a super mega star.
I kind of that's one of the things I got right. I knew who to be around, right? That's why you saw a lot of me, you know. I knew who to be around, kind of take it somewhere. That's why I was around you the whole time, bro.
How did you meet Catherine? Because how did you meet Catherine Grenfell?
Yeah, we created. Let me tell you, it was even just. I don't know how to explain that sort of connection, right? It like I love that woman and respect that woman so much. It was really just supposed
human beings in the industry.
Yeah, generally. I think she did Fresh's show. I was on DJ Fresh's show, and really I was there to sort of showcase something, to perform, right? And I did. I came there. I mean, I met her, and she was a lovely woman and things like that, and it was great. And we did the show, and then at the end, she kind of told me that I kind of I kind of found out that I was handpicked. It wasn't like, yo, we need some PR staff. Let's just call an artist to do it, and this, that, and the third. She kind of went, sort of heard something somewhere, some song, and then said, yo, we need to get that kid in the show, you know? And in my head, I didn't understand that when she told me, and I'm thinking she's just being nice, you know? And
what year? What year are we talking?
This is about 2000 and this is 2011, 2010.
So you had an album out already, because you were hustling a long time before your album.
The first album, yeah. There was it had just come. That's what I'm saying. It's like 2010 or 2009. Between those years, it either was about to come out or had just come out. and Catherine has really since been a person whose spirit I connect with, just her aura and the warmth that how cold this fucking place is, right? It's the industry with the people you meet. And she kind of sort of set up, and she even said, like, to me, like, okay, from here on out, I'm taking care of you for whatever else you need or whatever. Let's, she like
That's
began a
tight.
relationship with this kid who rapped. You know what I mean? It's and decided she's going to help in any way, shape, or form. And a large percentage of the things that have been great that I've done have some in some way, one shape or form, sort of been pushed through her, and she's invited me on many a platform that I may never have played at before. I mean, I know I played copy for the first time mainly because of her. I don't care who else played a role, but to tell you the truth, one of the main reasons I did it, I remember there was like a conversation about payments and things like that, and about the charge and whatever the case is, and that was between the office representing me and the people at Opie. And as soon as I found out it was Catherine, I said, "What the hell are you guys doing? Shut the fuck up, talking money out here. We're going there because Catherine said we're going there, okay?" And that's really what she means to me, man. She's been amazing in my career, man. It's very, we're not like sort of long lost cousins, or she's like a long lost aunt or whatever. Or everything she does is genuinely because she really cares, and it's not because of a family tie or anything like that. I like people like that who are just genuinely, I stand to gain nothing from doing this, but I feel like I want to do it for you. And that's the sort of spirit she has, and that's, she's really close to my heart, man.
I mean,
She's been,
what's funny is that, and this is no disrespect to you and your career. I've heard this
yeah.
story from a lot of people. She has done this for a lot of people,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
and that is what is really truly incredible.
That is the amazing part about it, and I hope the people she's done it for also see it for what it is, for the fact that it's been done, from just a place of love and a place of caring, because I see it. I'm not saying I'm the only one she's done it for. She's done this for
Mm.
the game. She's nurtured a lot of this industry and a lot of cats and a lot of people that
And
have
the
gone on.
industry is not taking care of her. That's
Of course, that's that's
that's
that's
the
that's that's
saddest
when it
part.
becomes fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the imbalance of everything, But I know and recognize her importance to me, and I know her and recognize her importance to a lot of other artists, But the industry collective would probably just say, "Oh yeah, she's that lady from that radio show," because that's where they probably would have only knew the name,
Mm.
but they don't know what she actually does. I do, and I appreciate that shit, man.
So cool.
Yeah, she is.
So
She's something else, man.
so BC before Catherine, right?
Mm-hmm.
What where
That's
where were you
BC.
at? Like,
Yeah,
what were you struggling? Like, what were you really struggling? Because I know, um, I think you had a long hard road to get to that point.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I was struggling with a lot of things, especially with like platforms of being able to do stuff. Excuse me. I was cool to. It was okay for the rappers to hear me rap, at a cipher or whatever the case is, and we just rapping and whatever. It was difficult to get things like commercial radio airplay, commercial platforms to perform and things like that, and all this is BC, right? And so only the people around me, or the circles that I was, moving around, kind of knew. So forget appreciate, they those are the only people that knew what I did, and this is all BC, and during,
BC.
yeah, and one of the things that Catherine did was sort of hit stations like crossover stations. Well, I don't know, commercial stations, pretty much, and sort of gave me that platform and say, "Yo, go do your thing." Even from like market placement, like whatever I targeted as the people I wanted to rap to was always broad. I never really locked it down, but my reality was that I was only exposed to the same people over and over and over and over. And Catherine came and switched that up and said, "Yo, I want this at this show," and that was then probably not a norm. This would be a left, with regards to what I'm normally exposed to, or what the crowd would normally want. And she put me in those situations, and 90% of the time, or 100% of the time, they all came out positive. It was so the exposure to an actual market, to actual real big commercial stuff is was a lot of her responsibility, and it was all her, the introduction at least to commercial markets that would not generally play a Kwesta, or appreciate a Kwesta, or even those platforms or those radio stations would not give me a platform because sound is not the same, it doesn't fit, this, that, and the third. And she kind of went left and said, "I don't care, you'll put this on," and that's what she's exposed me to, and I got appreciated by so many more people. I got exposed at least to so many more people, and they didn't have to like it. They weren't forced to like it. It wasn't like also her friends and cousins. It was genuine people who had an opinion. But the fact that they had an opinion about me now was, and I had that opportunity to convince them that I was good or was trash. That opportunity alone was non-existent, PC, and and those are some of the benefits that I sort of got, as after sort of meeting and being helped by Catherine, so it exposed me to a whole lot, bro. It exposed me to a whole lot of shit that not a lot of people that do my shit ever do in a whole career. But
What were some of the worst deals you've done in your career?
mm, mm, mm. See, if it's trusting people is a big, or was, or is, I don't know, I'm working on it, a very big weakness of mine, right? So a lot of the times when I started doing like my own shows, and it's one of many, and I started doing like my own shows, and the sponsors wouldn't agree and things like that, and I wanted a lineup of a certain caliber or certain people, how I would get that was that I would sort of offer myself to whatever they do, and I'm like, I'll do that. I'll come do you a solid here, and maybe not give you a full amount on the invite to what I'm doing, and so I kind of go to perform, or say so and so has this show going on. I come do the setup, full feet, full band, full everything, and I perform, and I go, don't give me a cent. If I got to do it twice, then I got to do it twice. But I need you on this other thing that I'm trying to put together, and boy, those things went bad sometimes, would sort of agree, and everyone would go, yo, deal, and never pitch up at the other thing, and be people that are not there. But that's even based on integrity, and which I guess I should have known better than to expect, yeah. And also some other shit. I know I performed for the lowest amounts of money. I've promoters have given me shit deals, and I just been lucky to not have signed a lot of record label deals, so I don't have a lot of history with that, I mean, when I first worked with Slicker and sorry, yeah.
No, carry on.
I first worked with Slicker and Smacks, at the beginning, and that was also just based off of, we're trying to give you a platform, just fly with it, and I didn't know really what I was doing, I just wanted to rap, and I guess, well, in my head, everybody else in the office would figure out what to do with these songs I just did, and there was never really a contract signed, it was really all love and just all pushing the platform, and that worked to a certain level, until I wanted to sort of kind of learn and just, maybe structure things or go about it myself, or and this, that, and the third, so I've never really signed record label deals, so I don't have a lot of history of bad deals. I mean, I've had shitty promoters taking terrible gigs, being dealt the wrong hand by a promoter, but that is just everybody, I guess. And yeah, with regards to deals and every other deal, let's say an endorsement deal and things like that, those have been carefully set out. Some of them are for you sign a deal based on future potential works, and so you take a cut maybe in what you'd normally charge, and maybe those future potential works never end up happening, so you end up getting the short end of the stick. And so I've gotten bad deals like that, really.
Mm.
It hasn't really been anything where, yo, my music, what's going on with that, the publishing or whatever. It hasn't really, I've haven't really signed those away to anyone,
Has there
really.
been anything that have you ever made a decision or a career decision that really has taken you like something that you have had a big learning going like, okay, now I know never to do that,
Oh,
or that
never
that
to do
was a
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like people screw over each other, that I get, but I guess what I'm asking is, well, let me ask you this first. Do you consider yourself a smart businessman, or do you just surround yourself with smart business people, or like,
uh
are
yeah.
you in the
That, am I in the driver's seat? Not for a long time. I wasn't. Like, one of the things that I did when I left Bada Bing was sort of surround myself again with people that were smarter than me, that were in sort of like a good friend of mine, Nota,
hmm,
who also worked at who was working at Bada Bing at the time, and he left way before me, actually. And then when I left also to go start my own thing, naturally he was one of the first people I hit up, and also because he had seen me go through all these things, and we had created a brand. I mean, we were living together at some point, for some years, and he was my friend, my brother, and I put that together with a friend of mine who had just quit his job. He was like sponsorship manager at something advertising job, and it just quit it and wanted to start something. And I said, yo, gentlemen, if we put this together, this could be crazy. So, and this was in 2013, and we've been working together since, and everything we've built has been because of that. But it's also because I know, and I'm
whew,
honest. I'm honest. There we go. It hits you, doesn't it? Potent stuff, right? I think I'm honest enough with myself to not even try and pretend to be the smartest person in any room, or the most business savvy person in the room, like I know what I kind of have to surround myself with people that are experts in certain fields, or want to learn how to be experts in certain fields. The thing about it is that I I would suck at being in the helm of the business end of the music, because I'm so deep inside the making of the music, and love that so much. I barely have space to think about strategies and strategically placing the song.
that's so
I just want
cool.
to make this song, and I want you, but I need you also. What I do is that, well, what I
Mm.
try and do is also get everyone I'm working with kind of believe in the song. And I don't want to give you a shit song and say, yo, go sell this. Let's go make this happen. I want to get it great. I want you to fuck with it. You must also love what you're selling. You know what I mean? And that's also another thing I found. That the people I worked with also were kind of believed in the songs. Regardless of just believing in, yo, I hope we can make it. We can make this work. I pray this song works. They really believed in it. So even when I wasn't around, how they spoke about the song and what they were saying about the song was really from what they really felt and thought. So, and with that comes it comes with its disadvantages, though, having worked with people you kind of grew up with, and have a history with, because it makes it difficult to then to be very decisive on other things, because then the relationship aspect of everything sometimes gets in the way. It's easier to tell a stranger, yo, you're fucking up, and this, that, and the third, or fix this, or else. It's hard to tell a person you've had a 20-year relationship with that, yo, you're fucking up and you're fired, or whatever the case is. So that it then started becoming it starts becoming sort
Mm.
of, just a little bit, you don't know.
Like working with family.
Yeah, it's like working with family. It's like
Yeah.
working with family, and that's one of the things. I mean, Nota and Leo are my family pretty much, but it makes it very difficult to sort of get things done when it's
Mm.
that close, and moving forward is what I've learned, that even if we pick up more people we work with and things like that, they needn't be closer than necessary for, in with regards to who's the closest to your heart. You kind of, I now want to chase, if anybody is hired and everybody works with us, is literally going to be based on what can you do, and not, oh, what a nice person. You know what I mean? I'm like, you can be a dick, it's okay, I don't care, as long
I
as
can live with
you get
that.
that.
I
Yeah.
can live with you being
Like,
annoying, but as long as you
yeah,
get it,
as
you get
long
the
as you
job
get,
done.
yeah, you're great at that, and I
Mm.
kind of always went vice versa. I kind of went like, yeah, I need to know you for who you are, and kind of,
Mm.
really mess with you in that sense, and the human aspect of you. But now I really just want, what it is that you can put on the table. So I've unlearned that, and I'm
Cool.
unlearning that, yeah. Mm.
This is
Sorry,
a
bro,
weird
2 seconds.
question.
I just want to place this in a charger. This phone is dying.
No sweat.
This doesn't mess up anything, right?
It
Where's
depends what
this?
you're doing. Oh no, 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 it should be fine.
No,
But
no,
what are
no.
your
I'm just
headphones plugged into, or is they just for show?
No, they plugged into the phone.
Oh,
Yeah, they plugged into the phone. I'm charging the phone now in case it just dies on me. So I'll
that's all good.
disappear from your screen for 2 seconds.
No sweat. Ladies and gentlemen, the ghost of Kwesta. Hmm.
And we're back.
This is gonna be a really weird question, and um, you know, I'm such a fan of you because I've just watched how you've navigated this space, the quality of everything you put in, the speed, and when I say speed, I mean the slow speed. Just do things properly. That's what I feel.
Mm,
But the hip
mm.
hop, I remember as well the scene you came into and how it's obviously changed.
Yeah,
I find
yeah.
the current scene so confusing. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what does the hip hop industry of today look like to you? Like, how do you map it out? What do you love and what do you hate? And what do you think could be done better and what do you miss? Told you it was a
I
weird
mean,
question.
yeah, yeah, it is. But I won't lie and say it's not something I've thought about. It is fucking weird. So I agree with you on that aspect of it. I mean, I don't I barely know what the fuck's happening sometimes, or why shit is happening. Like like even the why is just okay, like I love a lot of the talent. I'm serious, bro. I mean, I like a lot of the talent. I think it's not really a question of talent a lot of the time, because a lot of the guys that maybe have come up in the past, what, say 6 5 years, the talent is there, and they can rap, they can really do the thing. I just feel like, I just wonder if they love doing it. I think what's missing, for me at least, is just the love for it. And one of the things you're saying now, describing me, is trying at least my best to get things done properly. This being from how this stuff sounds, the quality of everything, and the quality of you as a human being, the quality of the brand, the quality of the brains behind it and the teams, and I just wonder if the new guys give a fuck, and I don't think they do, and it's not because I don't think it's because they just arrogant, or just ignore it. It's just, I don't think they get the time to appreciate anything that happens to them, because it happens so quickly. It's like straight from the bedroom into YouTube, overnight, and it's just blowing up, and it's the most talked about. It's the only thing they talk about. Becomes a Tekashi 6 9 kind of bullshit, and it's really, it just lacks care. I think, for me, I just think there's not a lot of people that care now, just about what they're doing, and the culture of why they're doing it, and the people that they do it for. I think a lot of the time, what is stolen now, the love and care for this shit, is the urge for the number one hashtag, or the number one whatever, and There's not a question of talent. I'm a fan of a lot of people based on what I think they could potentially do, or maybe that thing that they maybe a song or five that they did, But now they attitude towards hip hop, towards rap, towards
Mm.
music, towards the whole industry, and towards building that or not, or and things like the attitude towards that has really been what disappoints me more than anything, more than even
See,
what they can do. And a lot of the time it overshadows that, at least for me. I can't see past your disrespect for what I love so much, and I think I'm seeing a lot of
is
disrespect
it
or lack.
disrespect or I mean, you came up in a day where, I mean, look, you had to make your own, but there were record labels, there were, budgets for albums
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
while. There
yeah,
were music
yeah,
videos that actually, these guys are coming with nothing and having
yeah.
to make something out of
which
nothing.
which is why I'm not trying to take away the hustle from it. This is why I say there's talent and there's maybe an urge to, but I think what drives them a lot of the time, or at least the bit that I've seen, or my interpretation of what I've seen,
Is
is
the
that
fame, not the music.
yes, that's the thing about it. That's my only question. It's not really what they do or their talent or anything like that. And I know it comes from nothing, and I
Mm.
know there isn't any sort of structures now
Mm.
that would kind of benefit them. So half the time, if not all the time, they kind of just have to wing it themselves. And coming into a game where you have to wing it yourself from just entry is it'd be a definitely difficult thing to maneuver. So I appreciate the fact that it's wild out there, and they're surviving and making it happen and still making it. I appreciate that very much, that the structures are fucked up and these people, yet the artists are still coming through. My thing is that what drives them is just that, to see, who came through the hardest, or
Mm.
who's going to be spoken about the most, or this, that, and the third. It's why I'm making an example about, like, a Tekashi 69. I don't think he
Mm.
loves his music, I don't, but then if you look at the world, you can't deny the impact that it's got. And I think if I then am at home and I'm chilling watching this, in the back of everyone's mind, whether you make the music or you just get to listen to the music, when stuff is just, it didn't hit, or it just, it's not a
It was
great song,
it was
you
fluke.
know. Yeah, it was fluke. It was this. It was. There's no love behind this thing. There's really no substance. It just worked. There's gimmicks, and these are all things that everyone has. I mean, we all it's used. You find that one
Mm.
thing. Okay, you get them hooked onto it. And this, that, and the third. And there's different styles of doing this shit. This is just me saying from my end. I just don't feel like they care enough to even appreciate the stuff before they
Well,
even
they
put it
need to
out.
hear from you, though. You need to be leading these
That
people and
that's also
mentoring
another
them.
part of the conversation, where half the time when you say this thing, it's almost received with, like, a feeling of, oh, he feeling threatened about whatever spot he might think he
No,
occupies right now.
I didn't mean
This
it
is
that
why,
way.
like this. No, no, no. I'm saying this is generally how people would when
Uh,
you try have these conversations with maybe one of the guys that are just coming in. This is the first thing that's on their mind. Is like, oh yeah, he threatened, or this, that, and the third, and he doesn't want to share the info. He just wants to hate on my shit,
I
and this,
think you.
that, and the
I
third.
think. I
And
think that's fear talking because that isn't true. I don't believe that.
that's the thing
Um,
about it. I know myself, and I know not to be a person like that. I like it when it's an open field. If anything, I hate it whenever they did an MTV list at some point of rappers and whatever, and they put me at number one for 2 years in a row, and I hated every single bit of those years, because and this year they put me at like number 7 or some shit like that, and I love that, because then there's something to work toward. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's go. We're gonna try and get that back. So I'm never one to try and hold
that's
on to
that's funny.
whatever. I need to be knocked off something that will inspire the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So if it is sort of a competition about who wins, the worst thing you can do to me and to wake up the beast is to knock me off, and that'll be the best thing for me, because I'll work being inspired by something. So that's never the motivation of me speaking about these things, and it's not really about. I know people who've been in this game and still have the same problem of caring and taking care of it. So it's not
Mm.
really just me hating on the guys that come in, and there's guys that come in that really love and take care of this stuff. I just worry about the impact of the chase for fame and the chase for hashtags and things. And I understand coming into the game and saying, fuck the industry. I love that, right? If anything, I love that sort of mentality, but now your music needs to say that. Like, it needs to be so dope and so good and so care. You need to care about it so much that all of you is in that shit, and we will say fuck the industry on your behalf. You won't even have to, sort of started off at a yo, they hate me, especially with rappers. A lot of the times rappers, the first song that they'll put out is a song that says they hate me, they don't believe in me, I got haters and things like that, which is probably not false, right? But then that energy becomes that, so you want to prove a point to someone that,
Mm.
yo, you hate me, instead of just putting out a fucking good song, just putting out some fucking good content, that might work with whatever environment we're in or whatever you're feeling and thinking. A lot of people get consumed by this, which then leads us into fucking tours on Twitter and things like that, and I'm like,
I don't
just
know
get
why
me.
this is coming to mind, but I remember that day that Bongani Fassi dropped a track that basically was
Oh
like "fuck
yeah, that pretty
everyone."
much just everybody. I remember that song. And I won't know what inspired him, but he seemed very frustrated and things, and
Sure.
that's what he felt at the time. And I
Mm.
just I just always find that energy very dangerous. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the sport of hip hop, definitely. I mean, if we have to sort of get into a sort of battle-ish kind of thing, that's for the sport. That's cool. That's
Mm.
if it's for the sport and we're just battling, and that's
Dude,
that's that's dope.
that
Yeah,
fucking AKA in your vest
yeah.
battle was the
It's a
wicked. It was fucking knife's point. It was so legit. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
A lot of people said that was rehearsed, but the lyrics were so cutting. That was so real and so brilliant.
That
It was
was
one of the best
that was
things.
that was Yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the best moments, or the most impactful moments in the game. It's just obviously, if you live in a fantasy world, you'd sort of like to see them work together or whatever. But shit, this is real life.
No,
People don't
it
like each other. You know what I mean? And you just, there's and a lot of people also say, yo, hip hop is such a dirty sport. Everybody hates each other. It's hip hop. These musicians. I'm like, that person saying that shit probably hates someone in the office, and they have arguments in that office, and this is what it is also in this game. Not everybody's gonna like everybody. It just is what it is. and
dude, I
and if
hate a
we
lot of people. I'd make a great battle rapper.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying. That's what
Uh,
a lot of the times people want you to make up excuses for hating people. I'm like, I could tell you the reason, if you really want to hear, but I do hate him, and that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. You know what I mean? So
mm,
it's just what it is, and that's what I'm saying. I respect stuff like that. If
mm,
we if we have to get into it just to out rap each other and just say shit about each other, disrespect each other's hustles for the sake of the sport, I love that. I'm for that. You
mm.
don't have to love everybody. So yes, I when I say that people don't they focus too much on the hate and stuff like that. I mean, if you genuinely hate something, fucking go upon it. It's just a lot of things that I've been seeing is that the negative energy seems to be what they gravitate towards, because they think that's where they're going to get the most attention. If I make a song that celebrates Ben Riach, it'll probably get less traction than a song that says fuck the president. You know what I mean?
Right, 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 right.
And that's okay, if to say that, if you want to say that. But if you're saying it from a point where you don't really mean it, and you're just saying it for, yo, I need
For the
to, I'm
likes.
gonna get for the likes, I'm gonna get a shitload of likes for this, then that makes me question the substance of the shit. Because people
Yeah.
that are that can back it up, that can say, yo, I hate it because of this, I hate this because of that, and this is how it's affected me to the point where I hate it. And a lot of the time I feel people don't even have that backstory. They just want to come in and go, if I say I hate that guy, it's gonna work. And half the
Yeah.
time it works, but then that leaves it always leaves the music and the authenticity of that very questionable, and I'm scared about that a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
mean
it scares
your
me.
music reflects everything. It's very real with you. Very real.
I
You
try
know.
my best to do it 100%. I mean, you meet me in the day. I remember someone said this to me, and it was probably the biggest compliment anyone's. Well, the most important to me, because it was like, this is how I wanted to be if I ever was to be that guy, or make it, or whatever the case is. It's like you can't tell the difference when there's no difference whether it's stage or it's this guy that I just saw saying this in an interview is now saying this to me in real life. This is that guy in that song that does this or said this. It's all the same person. There's no yo, I'm about to put on a Kwesta jacket,
Yeah, time to be Kwesta, guys.
yeah, I don't,
Hello.
I try my.
Okay, now I'm gonna become Kwesta. Hello.
And why I try, this is not on some on some fucking righteous bullshit, right? Or holier than thou shit. It's really just, I'm too lazy to kind of
To
work
pretend.
between being, yeah, to be fucking Clark Kent and Superman. I'm just fucking Clark. Okay, that's it. And I just happen to, or Peter Parker or Bruce Wayne. I just feel like it's so pretentious like that.
That's cool.
I'm just like, it's just always this, man. And sometimes I've seen people kind of go get it. It's almost disappointing. I went to the garage in slippers the other day, and yeah, somebody just looked at me weirdly, like, huh? How dare you? As almost like shocked. And I'm like, okay, yes, this is not garage wear, but what is? I'm just here in my slippers, man. I was in my slippers. I just want bread. I drove here to get bread, and I just didn't feel like changing shoes. And
What? You're a person and
yeah,
not
you know what I
a
mean?
god?
This is so disappointing. I'm so disappointed in you, But yeah, so I try, and I try let that also be in the music. I don't think that it's like, even how I talk, even like the diction or the vocab, I don't sit down and kind of find cool or very confusing rap words to kind of, if I can't speak it in a sentence off the top and I'm just talking, I'm not gonna rap that shit, because I can't back it up when it's time to. So as much as I read and I try and learn, I read and all those things. If I don't use the words on a daily, you're probably not gonna hear them in the song, because that's how the
Are you
songs
a
are
Kanye
written.
fan at all?
Somewhat.
From a music, the reason I'm
From,
asking is I
from
know
the
he's a
music.
controversial figure,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but for me, the thing that is boggles my mind about him is his ability to be, in my opinion, the
Mm,
rawest. Well, when he's in the studio,
yeah,
the rawest you could like the most
yes,
honest you can be. He just fucking
yeah,
it's there and it's not
yeah,
like that one. I don't know whether it was it Jesus. Like he was having a fucking nervous breakdown in the studio and recording it
yeah,
and putting it out
yeah,
as an album.
yeah. That
And
is
I have
Jesus.
such respect for that, and
Mm,
I think that to me there's a similarity in the quality of authenticity with you. With he's fucked in the head, but this level of like
Hey man,
authenticity that is very unique.
yeah, yeah. I'm to answer your question. I'm a very big Kanye fan. Especially musically. I mean, I don't have to like everything he says or everything he represents, but the honesty in the music and the bravery, in the music. It's so brave. It's so honest. It's so exactly what it feels. It's like, it's also just not some of the things that he'll do because he studied what the number one song is, or what the number one songs have been for the past 5 years and tries to mimic that. It's like what you're saying. He was having a nervous breakdown, and that entire thing is embodied in a whole album. It's like, it's crazy. Went through a heartbreak and shit, and there's 808s and heartbreaks. That isn't, it's something I respect, and it seems very real. I mean, you it's stuff you know that he's going through, and it's stuff that you
Mm.
hear in the music. What then that becomes in terms of his interpretation and what he says on the interviews, that's something else I don't have
Yeah,
to be a
that is
fan
some.
of.
I mean,
But
he's
yeah.
been getting a lot of flack for his latest album because everyone is kind of saying, "Oh, he's figured out this money in gospel." But my
Mm,
interpretation, I mean, the album is amazing. My interpretation is he's such a like a he is bipolar. So everything in the
yeah,
moment to him is what it is. He's not faking it. And I
yeah,
think
it
he's had
exists.
like a massive spiritual awakening, and he
Mm,
believes that that's what's actually going on right now, and that's why he's done a
yeah,
gospel album.
that's the thing about it. That's what I appreciated the most. It's like he's embracing exactly what his mind tells him is there, and what his mind tells him is reality. He embraces it. He's not afraid of the backlash, but he'd rather take the backlash than lie to himself and embrace something he
Mm.
doesn't believe in. And that is something that is a very rare thing,
Mm.
and I appreciate and love that shit, and
But I
about
feel
it.
that that's you as well. That's the quality you share. That's why I bring him up.
I would like to be remembered as a person that tried to do that. Yes, and whether I do successfully, I don't know. But I work towards doing it, and this is probably some humble bullshit. But I try and do that. I believe in that. I believe in going through things. Right now, the music I'm writing is very very sort of.
Locked
I just
down.
got married. Not even. It's like I just got married. Right now, it's just with the lockdown. It's really just I'm really just messing about. I'm just experimenting with a whole lot of different sounds and things like that. But I got married last year on the 22nd of June. Well,
Mm.
I had a wedding. On the 22nd of March. Actually, it was our anniversary just now, and a lot of the stuff I was writing leading to the wedding and right now, has really been just about
Jandini as well. That's
adjustments and adjustments and things. Here's the thing about Jandine that not a lot of people know. Jandine is not a song I recorded yesterday. It's it's like the idea of the song was something that I did about what 2 years ago now. And I just used this lockdown thing to kind of, I went back to that idea, refined it a little bit, and really, so it has nothing to do with my
oh,
adjustment to marriage life,
interesting.
really, yeah, and it was the finesse that I did now. I mean, I recorded it now and finalized Janjin now, but the skeleton of the song was already
Hmm.
there, and yeah, so a lot of my stuff is really about I'm working on an album, right? Well, I just finished the album, and a lot of the stuff is really here, closer to me than further from me, trying to get it closer to the audience. It's really just, oh yeah, this is what I feel, and this is what I think about what I feel. Oh, this yesterday, me and my woman went through this, don't you think it's crazy how, and that's what I'm pretty much basing it off of, because this is the stuff that is happening to me now, which switch some outlooks on things. It kind of, you've adjusted your entire life from it being, yeah, I love you, to it being, shit, I gotta share and talk about everything. It's like like every fucking thing, every single thing is spoken about, is is, I'm like, fuck, and adjusting to that, you know, and adjusting to
uh,
that, and the frustrations of that, and what I appreciate about all that. So all of those things are what I've been writing about now, and hopefully it comes out like that, because if I wrote about anything else, I wouldn't be writing, what is going through right now. I
but this
because I
sort
got
of
scared.
tie.
Yeah,
Sorry, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
no, I got scared. I had the wedding and got scared. I wondered if, shit, what does this mean for Kwesta a little bit? I mean, the decision to get married and have the wedding was a very personal decision that I knew I wanted to do.
But to talk
But
about
in
it is against the
to
rock
talk about,
star
yeah, yeah,
Bible.
so yeah, so when I thought, and I'm like, fuck that, and then I dropped a song called Ketile Ketile, right, which is
Yeah,
literally
yeah, yeah.
pretty much covers the wedding, and things like that, and people appreciated it, which then further makes me believe that people just appreciate your truth,
Yeah, they
and they
want to know.
appreciate how you tell it, the honesty. That's it. You don't have
Mm.
to kind of try and think about, yo, this is what people love, this is what people work, and I've been in a lot of fights with that, A&R ring and things like that, and people who study the stuff and go, yo, this is what's best because the numbers say this, that, and the third, and I've always been in fights with that, because I would rather, I want, I don't want to put it out based on what the statistics are only. At least I want to
Mm.
put it out because I feel like this is what we should put out, and if we hit number 19 or number 25, never get to one, fuck it. But that's what we put out, it's what I wanted out, and it's the truth of the time, and yeah, and it goes so on and so forth. But I try to kind of talk about what's
I think
really
it's
going on.
beautiful. I mean, I love hearing it from you because it affirms everything I see from the outside. But what's interesting about what you're saying is it ties into what we were speaking about right at the beginning of the conversation, is that our worlds
Mm.
have been made smaller. Our experiences are about what is happening to me right now. I
Yeah,
don't really know what's going on in the world. And you're making an album that is your most, as you're saying, sort of personal album about what's going in your very close personal space.
yeah,
It's also
yeah,
amplified by the fact that you actually don't have an option. You know,
yeah. There's that.
you would be really fake to be talking about what's going on in the world right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, because that's true. Also, that's very true. I mean, it is a lot of it. A lot of the outcome of the songs is definitely based on a lot of the introspection and realizing and thinking about these things comes from the fact that I have so much time to myself,
Mm.
and I can almost get out of myself and look at it and watch and go, yo, oh yeah, I really like that, or I don't like that stuff. So I've had the time to do that, and I'm not trying to pretend like, or while I was here, I'm learning how to do this, that, and the third, or I figured out how to crack the code, the Da Vinci Code, or anything like that. Like, pretty much just looked at my life and made the music, and
But you see, it's come out of you naturally, whereas another artist might say, "Huh, I need to do a song about lockdown. I need to do a
yeah,
lockdown
yeah.
song." You know, where you're doing it in your own way.
It, I'm doing music in lockdown. I'm not doing a
Yeah,
lockdown song, it's yeah. A lot of this is what I say. Like a lot of people, it's then for the hashtag. You don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
do a
yeah.
what the fuck is a lockdown song? Like
No,
what
it
the fuck
makes
is
me if it has lockdown in the title, I'm fucking out.
It's like,
Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Immediately, I'm like, fuck this guy, man. Forget this. At least this song, forget this song. But yeah, it's music in lockdown. It's not lockdown songs.
Mm.
That's a great way to put it.
Cheers to you, man.
Cheers, brother.
I want to
Cheers to
invite
you.
you. Do you know about Amp Studios? About the stuff we're doing in town there?
Yes.
And what I was going to say
Yes.
to you about earlier was that what has been amazing about Amped is that it's a free resource for artists. It's free recording
Mhm.
studio, free,
And you
and we
just,
hope
yeah. And it's the Newtown Junction, right?
in the Newtown Junction. And
Yeah.
we've been hosting these masterclasses and these things called hero conversations where we bring a big star and a old legend to have a sort of mentorship program.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
to aid your fears earlier about what you were saying, where you feel like people would say, well, people don't want to hear from Kwesta because they're going to think like, oh, I'm a threat, I'm a threat. But I've seen the exact opposite every day in that space. That the real
Uh,
problem with these youngsters is they are clueless. They have no idea what the industry is like. They
mm,
have no idea
mm,
how hard it is. They don't even know where the first rung of the ladder is. It's so far in the distance. And
yeah,
these
yeah.
conversations, which are, we've encouraged artists to come in and be raw as possible and not to come and inspire people. Like our sort of philosophy is don't come here inspired. I mean, don't come here to get inspired, come inspired. And here you will learn the tools you need. So the shit you're talking about now,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
you would absolutely slay in that room because they don't know. They want to know, but they don't know. They're making
Mm,
mistakes because there
mhm.
isn't mentorship. There's no infrastructure in this industry. As you know, if you want a career, you build everything yourself. You're not step.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have a stepping stone. You have to make the stepping
You
stone.
you make it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would love.
And I
I mean,
get
I'm
that.
just
And
thinking. Mm,
sorry, I'm saying I get that. And maybe my, yeah, it's completely 100% true what you're saying. And maybe my outlook was also just selfish, or out of frustration, maybe, when I say it's solely because they don't love it. And I understand that it's a certain lack of education, I guess, of at least what to expect or what to do, because a lot of the times you get into this space, and when you look around you and where you come from, there's not a lot of people who have done this, who've who've gotten in the game and become a successful artist. There's not a lot of people look around and see like, oh yeah, I grew up next to so and so's house, or so and so
mm,
used to
mm.
come home for dinner. So the education is not there. So you're right, and obviously I would like to get into those spaces and be told and be explained to that, no, bro, it's not that we're not we don't know what the fuck we doing. Or even if they don't say it when you realize it. But because we don't have such platforms, well, except for Amped, this is when we would learn into shit. Maybe the role I should be playing isn't that says here's what's wrong with the artist now. It needs to be the one that says how do we sort of make sure there's nothing wrong with the artist now. So
Well, you have the thing. You have the thing that no one has. That's longevity. You have built longevity in a career that is even inherently globally longevity in hip hop barely
yeah,
exists. So
yeah,
you have secret sauce, and whatever that is, you need to teach it. I really believe that.
yeah. Yeah. No, then I guess that's when we're meeting up next. After if you're down to do it, I'm down to chill and talk. No, I'm easy. I'd like to be in a room like that. I mean, I've been
Dude,
in the
I just want to.
facility for different reasons, but I'd love to have these conversations.
Well, I'll officially invite you, and I just want to say it has been such an honor to have you on to chat. I mean, I've loved talking to you. Um, you are, as you said earlier, so beautifully like you are who you are. You are who you've always been, and that is such a rare quality.
Yeah,
And
I
I love
appreciate
you
that,
very
man.
much, and I'm a massive fan. And it's just an honor to have
Thank
you
you, bro.
here.
Thank you
So,
so much, John. I really appreciate and love you too, brother. Cheers to you. And I want to say that you're like very knowledgeable like in this game, and know so much, and have seen so much, and has innovated so much, so in a space like this you allow people to kind of have their piece and say they say, and talk they like, well, you've allowed me in this sort of thing to speak my piece, and say what I'm thinking and say what I'm feeling, and then you've embraced it and accepted it, and then said what you think about it or asked the questions. And a lot of people would kind of go, no, that's not how it works. No, I know the shit. I've been here. You know what I mean? And
one
so
thing
these are the
I've
type of,
learned I don't know
yeah.
shit. I'm the person who
There we
doesn't
go.
know anything.
Yeah, yeah. And I appreciate that approach. It's very comforting. But I know that you know a lot of shit, about a lot of
I
shit,
know that you don't know nothing because I know nothing. I really have learned that I know fuck all.
To not know nothing, to not
To
knowing
know
nothing,
nothing.
to
Love you,
know
dude.
nothing, bro. Love you too, brother. Have a good one. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ben Riach. Appreciate it.
Before you, I'm just gonna stop the
Yeah.
recording because I want to ask you something.